All right, and we are live. Welcome to the Reality After Show with your boy Phillip Solomon from Deal or No Deal Island Season 2 on NBC and my friend Jeff Marx. Jeff, how are you today?
Oh, today I'm doing okay. I'm always excited to talk about Drag Race, but real life sometimes sure is a bummer, right, gang? LOL. That's why we watch this stuff, right? Escapism.
So true, so true. If it helps, you look great. You've never looked better, I swear.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, last time, episode 3, we met our episode 4, we met our brand new bracket, but now we are back. We've now had them. We've had time for it all to settle in, and we are still here. George's Mistress, everyone, all the fun. We are jumping right into episode number 5. So in coming, let's get ourselves started with our most valuable queen points. Now, we knew when talking about how we were going to hand them out, we knew that this was going to get messy with this group especially. And did they let us down, Jeff?
No, not at all. We've been the crowd has been dying forever to see what would happen if someone was shady in the rules of the game. We've been craving this. That's why there's rules to the game now, is so that it creates the opportunity to do something reality TV shadiness. Well, Leave It to Mistress Isabel Brooks has done just that. And honestly, I'm here for it. That's what you came on the show. Why didn't you shade someone first? You're going to trust Mistress out of everybody? Give me a break.
We needed it. I think that I think it's the juxtaposition of Mistress Isabel Brooks, who's so dialed into the game and the strategy, and Nicole and poor Nicole Paige Brooks, who's so 1 foot out of it. She's been out of it for years. And so I think in her time, there was that common respect of like, I'm going to follow through with my words, so on and so forth. And like, we can't play like that anymore. It's like if you look back at Survivor season 1 versus Survivor now it's a game of lying and manipulation and stuff like that. It wasn't always like that, but for now, it totally is.
Yeah, no. I like that Nicole Paige Brooks is back. It's good that she has the screen time. I like that she's giving a little like new energy for herself that will parlay the rest of her career. But she's out of her league here. I mean, you can't trust these young chickens. You can't. You got to run to keep up in the hen yard or whatever I'm saying. I don't know. But like I mean, I would never have given it to Mistress first. I mean, cough it up, you fat bitch. Let's go. You go
Immediately.
first. You do it first. I'm not going to be out manipulated. And I think her instinct to turn and give it to Carrie Colby was the right instinct, because if she had given it to Carrie Colby would have obliged and given it back to Nicole, and then Georges and Mistress would have had to figure their shit out, and everyone would have had 1 point. So Nicole Paige Brooks had the right instinct, and she just dropped the ball.
So we heard this plan hatching. If you watched Untucked last week, we heard this plan hatching. And I did, and like it's very much like an episode of like, again, Survivor, where when you like see the plan hatching, you're like, yo, if they can pull this off, this is gonna be crazy. But you don't think they're gonna actually pull it off. They pulled it off. They got this to happen. There is no way that Georges was the brains of the operation, but she followed through with it. She did what had to be done. And so with that said, we do have Nicole Paige Brooks giving her point to Mistress and Carrie Colby giving her point to Georges, and then Mistress and Georges giving their points to one another. And so now we have a definite, we see our front runners mathematically speaking. And I think even for Tina Burner, she was upset that it went down that way as well, because now they are right on her tails. I think that if it all would have gone where they just gave each other 1 point, she still would have been head and shoulders ahead, still ready to like do well, so on and so forth. But that kind of messed up the game for everyone. And I think Lydia is still just getting her feet on the ground. She had no idea what was happening. She just sat there like an audience member the whole time. And I was like, okay.
Well, and Lydia's still in this in-between zone where like she's still currying favor with Mistress, right? She's still like a new girl on the block, and she's intrigued by the power that is Mistress, but is also like, I don't want to dive too deep into the dirt just yet, but it feels like the dirt's intoxicating, right? Like she feels like she might be able to be swayed, go to the dark side, Luke. I am your father type of stuff, right? And I think she just kind of was like happy to be there, and that didn't really affect her. And her points, sure, did the points kind of suck for everyone a little bit, but least affected is Lydia.
Yeah, I think that as someone on their show, so like I get to Deal or No Deal Island and I see Parvati and Dr. Will from Big Brother. And like, again, I think those
Marx.
big personalities, right? Those big personalities, you have one of two ways. Either they scare me, get away from them, or what I did. And I was like, welcome, I'm your new best friend. And like, so even as a civilian, I jumped right in there because my head was, if something's going to happen in this game, it's going to be with the heavy hitters. And I need to make sure that I am their +1. So I understand why Lydia was like, Mistress is running the game. Be with her or you're done. And that to me makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah, you don't go on something and see the person that's been there before and work against them, or at least let them know that you're working against them.
Very much so. Yes,
you're along for the ride. Oh, Boston Rob showed up on some other TV show. Great, big fan, totally fanboying out. Yay, Boston Rob. Let's get rid of him. Like you can't let them know.
If I walk into a room for a competition style game and Jonny Fairplay is there, that's my new +1. Bye. Like, sorry. Like, why would you not? Why would you not? He understands the game. He understands manipulation, and he can do all the things that I can't. So like, cool, great. New best friend. So we do move into our new challenge for this week. Mama Ru has said she wasn't sure if she wanted to do the rap or the roast, so we're gonna do them both. Rap battle. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen this one before. It's like pretty much in the vein of things we would normally do. I do appreciate the fact that it is a music challenge. I think that those are far more interesting to watch than the roast, only because if the girls fall flat in the roast, it's bad. They start playing all the sound effects, the rattle, and you're like, oh no, you're like, this is bad. This is so bad. Where I feel like if it's a prepared musical challenge, they know what's happening.
Yeah, no, and it's it's just visually better for the audience too. You got the whole choreography. It looks a little bit like a music video. I do agree with Michelle Visage on a lot of her critiques, though, on this one, though, is there was a lot of words being smushed in there, and there weren't a lot of there. It was hard for me I had to play it back twice. I watched the whole segment once, and then I went, wait, let me actually go back again, just so that my brain can remember stuff. If you can't lip sync as fast as the words you're saying, they probably here's a word most drag queens might not know. It's a little too verbose.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Does everyone know that's a high vocab point worthy word there? Verbose just means talking too much. And the cornerstone, brevity is the soul of wit, meaning the shorter that you can say something and still make it funny is what will make it shine. So I actually think in this case, Nicole Paige Brooks got a little bit dogged under. I think she should have been the second person. I think Isabel Grit was hands down the landslide win on that in terms of energy and content and everything. But I would have liked to have seen Isabel versus Nicole Paige on this.
Honestly, this is one of the only episodes where they spend a solid 70% of it in the workroom. It is one of the only episodes that actually was worth the 70% that we spent in the workroom. There are things happening. Dynamics are changing. Miss Lydia Butthole gets to make the order. And did she do it the way that you would have?
Yeah, I think if I was Lydia in this moment, it was the most appeasing thing. That way she can continue her like attempted new girl neutrality, right? Like because she is getting along with Tina Burner, and she is getting along with Isabel, and she is getting along with everyone else. So try to make it the least amount as possible. Plus, since she already has a few more points than some people, she could easily become a target for something. So I think she played it well for herself, 100%.
Yeah, I think that I think just coming from a human psychology perspective, people love when their opinion is asked. Even if it's not necessarily taken into account, they love that it's asked. And so I love the fact that she went around to the room. She got to have like a quick touch base with everybody and then be like, okay, so where do you think you want to go? Just like throwing it out there. And I do love the fact that she pretty much gave everyone what they wanted. One of the stories that I did want to touch on was the Carrie Colby of it all, which, spoiler alert, sad enough to say, pretty much means she's not moving on, because they said we have to squeeze all your plot into this day in these 8 minutes. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And so I do appreciate the idea that, like, I think so many people think that once a drag queen is on Drag Race, their family problems, that dynamic is magically solved because now your parents are like, you're famous, I'll accept you, or whatever else. But Harry's mother still won't use her current pronouns. And I feel like people need to know that I'm like, she is a celebrity. She has performed everywhere. She has sold out clubs, bars, houses, all that stuff. And her mom is still like, nope, that's my son. And I'm like, oh, that's awful.
Which I just can only imagine if that was like in public or even just at like a family function. You look so crazy because look at Carrie Colby.
Look at her.
And then to turn around and be like, that's my son, he, him, is bonkers. I mean,
Insane.
No matter how you feel about it, like that just looks crazy on that person, I think. Which also, I mean, I know there's like a whole thing about passing privilege, and that shouldn't be the point. But in this particular case, it's part of the audacity, in my opinion, which is how polished and beautiful and feminine that Carrie Colby has transitioned into her full female self is to be crazy to be thinking about that. But you're right about cramming in her story. I just production value wise, she's not going to the end, and neither is Nicole Page Brooks after this.
No, they are not.
And so they're getting whatever screen time they can get in there is what they're getting. But she's
Which,
great.
honestly, I think is good. I think the screen time they've gotten so far has gotten new fans and new people. Like, I think that they've gotten a great edit in knowing that they're not going to be here at the end. I think they've gotten a phenomenal edit.
Yeah, no, they have. And Carrie Colby came what she needed to do. She was like a nice, pretty first half gone from her first season, right? And here she's elevated her drag, she's elevated her look, she's more confident in who she is. And I think she's just solidifying her name draw, to be perfectly honest, which in this game of the world is cash in your pocket too. So, you know, it's more bookings, it's higher visibility. And I like that she is bringing up the point of like, hey, if you can't get on board with who I am and what I'm about, then sure, it's sad, but I'm gonna move on because I have this whole other life, this whole other family dynamic of people. I mean, just think about the queer world, the LGBTQ plus of it all. When we come out, we don't always know this, but when we come out, there's a whole nother family of people around there. It's the chosen family thing, right? That's the narrative, is you get your chosen family. And sometimes the people you're born with don't matter. They just don't. And that's true of trans people, gay people, etc. I have blood family that I will never talk to again. I will probably not even go to their funeral because I will be so busy doing something else with people who've cared about me for decades, who were there for me for decades, who I call dad and son and father and whatever fun little gay way that we do. That means more to me than those other people who I have their same blood coursing through my veins. So kudos to Carrie Colby for keeping it moving. I totally feel her on that. And mom and dad, you just look dumb. Not that you're listening to a Drag Race recap podcast, but you look stupid.
Literally, that was what we needed. Give us the Emmy. Give me and Jeff Marx this Emmy right now. We need it. We needed the vulnerability. Yeah, I think that like there is so much story to tell here. And even though it feels like we tell it every episode of every season or whatever else, this was still kind of a brand new one. So I did enjoy the avenue that the producers chose to take. So we do go into our challenge. Miss Tina Burner is going to get us started. As per always, she's doing too much, and it's all good. But you know, when it's so good, it's too much. It's giving I went to the Katy Perry Lifetimes tour, and that woman gave us everything. The theme of that tour is that no one told her no. No one told her no. And I like wasn't a big fan before I went. I got the ticket for free, but it was on the floor. And I was like, okay, cool, great. So I go in there and I'm like, this is going to be a lot. And then let's call it a caterpillar larva sack comes down from the ceiling and she's hatched in the opening number. And I was like, yes, please give me the most, give me drag and camp. It was that where like, it was too much. Like she gave you all the words and choreo and everything. And you're like, I now see why you get put into that pile of Jan, Plasma, Lucy LaDuca. Like the theater girls tend to want to overdo, and you're almost like, you did so much, I don't know how to take it in. And like that's what happened, I think, for me in her in this song.
Yeah, you know, it's weird because like I've said in the past, Tina Burner was one of my like club drag people that I just knew of in the scene when I lived there. And something about going to camera doesn't translate as great as I knew in my memories of what they were doing live. And I do think that's probably a particularly harsh experience for that queen that's like, hey, I'm so good in the clubs. People go wild for me at the bar. Why is this such an uphill battle for me? And I am kind of fascinated with that. But she is at the top of her game. With the trickery that has happened this week, I don't know exactly what Tina's future is. She could get edged out. She could be swept into the top 3. I'm not sure.
Yes, Tina reminds me of either Morgan or Mayhem, because it's not translating. And I do agree. I think that these are all strong queens that will they ever win a crown? I don't know. It's another one like, I know this. She's in the next bracket for the 8th time. We've already seen her. Yes, there are girls that are amazing on the show, but will they ever win the crown? I don't know. I just don't know.
Not enough crowns for all the good queens.
Right? So then we move from Tina Burner into, I believe that was next, Nicole Paige Brooks. I didn't have it written down in my notes. Sorry. Nicole Paige Brooks, for me, when she said, I'm bringing you my biggest hair, my biggest everything, I was still like, this is what some of the girls walk the street in. Like, this is giving Sasha Colby meet and greet that I'm like, yeah, this looks like you dressed up to go see another drag queen.
Oh, no. See, I liked it because she took the note, right? Like, she took the note of, I want to see your face more beat. I want to see bigger hair. She did that and created a great script. I thought her reads were really super fun and cute and listenable on the first try. So I thought, for me, she was my second favorite of the evening, even looks aside, which can be a matter of aesthetic and taste if you want to argue that in any direction. I'll give that to whoever, because I'm no expert in that department. But all I can say is she took the note, and I think that matters.
It was giving the Britney Spears Toxic music video as a Halloween costume, you know, that like rhinestone leotard where like, it's not hers. It's like not at that level, but like Spirit Halloween Toxic, that I was like, okay, here's the thing. She's great at personality and I wish she would like host and do stuff more, but like this challenge for me at least still wasn't hers.
Sure.
And going into George's, I believe, either way, we'll just hit them all. George's, I think, did a phenomenal job, but I say this in knowing that there's a caveat to go with it. George's did a phenomenal job. She did that thing that we love where you use the show to reference the show, using the Alyssa Edwards line to reference the show. Everyone's like, I get it, I'm there. But also, Megami wrote her rap. And that has come to light in the past 24 hours. And I was like, oh. So like,
didn't George's have another thing like that on another thing where she had, I think Bob is someone who also notoriously writes for people going into the show. I was just going to say, I don't buy that George's brought all that. Not to call her stupid. She's just not a funny girl. She's funny on accident sometimes when she's doing like, little her cholo drag king
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But she is a beauty queen. She dances very well. Those are her things. That's where she shines. She does not shine in the comedy department. And it felt inauthentic to me to be coming out of her mouth. And so I did not know this piece about Megami writing this, but I believe it. And I don't think it's the winner. It shouldn't have been the winner.
Let's talk about it this way. Megami has now won 2 rap challenges through Nymphia Win and Georgia. She can't win one for herself, but let me tell you, if you need someone to write a verse, she's here for you. Megami the Stallion is here for you to get you a winner. And I think that that's great. I'm like, you know what? The same way that Utica has had a million winning looks since her season on other girls. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, that's fine. Your art is your art.
Yeah, sometimes you fall into a niche, and that's where you shine,
Yeah. Lydia Butthole Collins, I think, for, again, having a very dry sense of humor and not being a choreography girl or really like a music girl, it was good. It was in no way my bottom 2. And I'll say she did exactly what she thought, which was survive and be in the middle. I'll take it. For someone that came off of her season, I also went back and looked this up. She had 6 days notice between her season and this.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, what a weird thing. Just thinking just think immediately after your reality TV show experience, the producers come to you and go, hey, great job. Next week, you're going to do another show. Are you down? That's like exhausting.
Honestly, yes. If they would have said when I was on the island, do you want to go play Survivor next week? I would have been like, you know what? I'm probably more ready to than I ever have been in my whole life.
I mean,
so, okay.
Yes, right? But you would be like in a blender, right? Like your brain would be like, what's up? Okay.
So just to get the timeline of it all, I looked it up because your boy's crazy. So she did her season 6 days later, went to All Stars, then came back for the lip sync Lollapalooza and the finale for her season. And then if she should make it to the next round, went back and did the end of All Stars after that. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It is a lot, but I don't take it away. Like, she doesn't look like it's been a lot. So, okay, I'll take it.
Same.
Then we get into Mistress. Her pants were making me nervous. The whole verse. They were on the way down to the ground and they just kept getting lower and lower. And she was about to show all of America her hot pocket to the point where the cameraman, if you watch at the end of the verse, is just from here up. They don't even show the rest of her anymore. They're like, you know what? No, we can't. No, absolutely not.
I didn't notice that. I'll have to go back and look at that.
It gets tighter and tighter as she goes. Oh, it's bad.
Oh, that's funny. I love when a cameraman can see a problem coming and they're just like, let's just try to keep this out of the edit in case something worse happens.
Agree. Mistress was great. Carrie Colby, what are your views on a roast challenge with no roast? That's the She by Sheree, a fashion show with no fashion. I don't know what to do about it.
I mean, you don't go to a roast to be nice. Right? Like you don't, I mean, if that's like the brand you're working on, don't expect to win. I mean, like, that's not like something that is going to go, oh, that's so creative. What a winner next to these other professional cunts. like that's not, I can't imagine she genuinely thought she was going to go into the challenge and win with that. I think she's already resigned to being there and happy to be there.
Here's the hard part for me. If this were a girl group challenge, she would have been in the top. If not, she might have won the whole thing. She hit us in English, Spanish. It was well done, choreographed, well moved, but it's one of those things where it reminds me of the Sam Star ugly dress that I'm like, because you didn't fulfill the assignment, you lost, but any other circumstance, you would have won. It's just a matter of like, what was the assignment? And she did not technically fulfill it, but she was great. She was good.
Yeah, she's very charming. She's a ray of sunshine. She's beautiful. Yeah,
She
you
she's
passed.
beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's a model. She's Linda Evangelista.
Also, when I just said you pass right now, I meant like a grade, like an A, B, C, D grade school pass. I didn't mean like femininity or transgender stuff. I just wanted to make that perfectly clear.
No, I heard a rumor. Jeff Marx said that's all being trans is. Cancel him. I heard it. He said it. He said it. I heard
You're only
it.
trans if you pass. Is a direct quote from Jeff Marx. Thanks, Phillip. Thank you so much.
Oh no.
All my
All right.
all my careful bridge building work on We're Here is out the window.
Out the window. All right. Let's talk the looks. All right. Little Shop of Horrors. You know who's so mad about this? Literally, Chappell Roan was there as a celebrity judge, who, by the way, killed it. And then the theme was Little Shop of Horrors. Susie Toot right now is throwing herself in front of a train. She was like, why is this not me? Why am I not here for this episode?
You're so right. I mean, I love Mistress in this. This is it's still her like silhouette that works, but it's like, you know, on steroids. And I love it. What's the other, everything's supposed to be from Little Shop of Horrors, right?
No, they said just Little Shop of Horrors. So some people kind of took it as a plant thing. Some people kind of took it as like a musical theater camp kind of thing. I think Mistress took it like a Super Mario Brothers character, but like I don't hate it. I think that if you're gonna do ugly, this is the way you do it, where there's still a shape and form. She still made, like, this is what would happen if the Ginger Minge look had more money from whenever she came back from All Stars. Remember that we were like, oh no, not this.
Yeah, no, it's A plus fun. It's fun drag, and it's different than what, you know. She keeps getting nailed to the cross about looking the same. She's got a silhouette that works for her very specific fat body. Like, give her a break. I also, you know, just as a fat person, or maybe even you as a former fat person, is that I think being critical in this way is like not fat phobic, but like it pushes the fat contestant down in a way that lets the other girls rise up just a little, just one little click that they don't ever have to hear about, right? Like,
yeah,
I just think it's just a way that we are decreasing the chances of a fat girl winner is by talking stuff like, oh, I see that silhouette all the time. Yeah, because I'm a fat ass bitch and it works well on my fat
I can
ass
wear
body.
it. Yep.
I just there's something annoying about that to me. And and I can understand why Mistress would be annoyed by that. But I think she's working it very well by taking the note but sticking to her in this.
Of course. I think she knows that, again, she doesn't have a tiny waist, but once it's hinged, to bring the shoulders out, the hips out. Like, she understands the mathematics of good drag, which is, I think, what a lot of the other girls are missing. Not necessarily on this show, on this bracket specifically, but I just mean like in general, what a lot of the girls are, where I'm like, you need a pad, you need, the shoulders are too big, the hair is not high enough. Like, it just, you have to do the math to kind of see it head to toe. And this look, I feel like, is one of the most underestimated looks of our generation. Carrie Colby in this Venus flytrap look, Jesus. I hate to bring him into this, but Jesus. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the sort of stained glass window painted sort of aspect to this. It looks like a underwater painting. It's just, the colors are very vibrant and I enjoy it.
And when it got ripped away, how in the hell is that train staying on her bare ass? I don't know. I don't even want to know. I want it to be one of the great American histories, and that's fine. But like, also, how was that happening?
Magic, trans magic, honey.
Okay, I need to see like her and Bosco move through to the next round, just because I need to see what it's going to look like. Like, I need to see what happens when they're on the same runway, because it's just, this is crazy.
Well, I hate to inform you, but they both won't be there at the end. I can guarantee that.
That's fair. I know.
I would hit your pin to Bosco on this one. If you're looking for some insight into trans excellence, so far I think Bosco is who's going there.
Yeah. Lydia's dress is passable for knowing she had 6 days. It is green, and the handbag purse hand situation, that big puppet. I've been in a lot of community theater productions of Little Shop of Horrors, and I'll take it. I'm like, okay, you know what? Cool. Great. All right, let's move to our next girls. We have, let me remove this guy. All right. All right. Tina Burner, speaking of knowing the math, if you look at it now, you can see she really doesn't know the math. It doesn't come in enough at the way, like it just isn't, the numbers aren't numbering.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't hate it, but it's also not, it doesn't feel like a winner to me either.
Yeah, I
Is it
think
the
when she,
proportions? Is it the length, height, proportions? It just feels weird. Is that why?
it's the proportions, but also she brought this same silhouette for her entrance look. So it feels familiar because it's the same silhouette, but in silver instead. And so there's that, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's always done 95% of the way there. If I had a little waist and the top went out a little bit more, like I just want to do the things to it. It's an amazing idea. I even love how it unfurled. She included the note from like the mom. Like it was all so well planned and thought out, but the execution was only 97%. And when you have people like Georges and Mistress that are like 103% execution, details, hem work, you're like, I guess technically this one isn't up there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not lackluster, but almost.
Almost. Georges, I don't know what she did to the makeup, but if she could do this for the rest of her career, she'd be smart. She looked stunning.
Yeah, but there's no surprise to that, right? Like she's like a pretty girl. I think I have Georgia's fatigue. I think I'm just realizing that. I like her. I like Georges. I think she's pretty and fun to watch and a good dancer. And even it's funny sometimes. I feel like when she's putting on, sometimes her drag is a little like, oh, I just put it on, but look at it on my body and I'm gonna sell the fuck out of it. So I'm amazing. I don't know. This just kind of looks like some strips I pulled out of a Joann's fabric, like cut to the side box, just like, oh, this is material we already used today, but maybe you can make something of it. It just doesn't feel put together. It feels like
not you name dropping my girl Joanne. Not you leave Joanne out of this.
Rest in peace. But like, I don't know. I just don't think, I never remember let me put it this way. I never remember what Georges is wearing. I remember what she did on stage.
Agree. Fair. And this is so sad, but true. Georges knows her twink era is over. This is it. This is a rest in peace moment for the Georges twink era.
It's very true.
Upsetting, but
at 24, usually people get like into like age 30 before they have to dip out of the twink era. But because she's been on Drag Race 3 times by the age of 24, she is no longer a twink after this. You're absolutely right.
Wow. All right. So also, while we're here, let's also have this discussion because I think it's an important one to have. Mistress isn't winning. The new fans don't like villains. And whether we support it or not, you and I specifically, whether we support it or not, is the fandom ready for another plus size girl and a plus size winner in general? So here's my question that I want to throw out to you. How important do you want to see a winner of a Drag Race season that is the best queen or plays the game the best or is a good representative for the brand for the year, in knowing that like these people have to do interviews and stuff like that, like they are going to be representing the All-Stars franchise for the full year? Does that matter anymore, or is it so oversaturated for you it doesn't actually matter anymore?
I think they can be a little bit of all those things, if they wanted to be. I also want to push back on new fans don't like villains. I think Mistress has a lot more sway than we might think. I mean, have you looked at some of these chat rooms? Have you looked at some of the Facebook comments? The fans, new and old, particularly the younger generation, are vicious online. There's absolute crazy behavior going from one direction to another over the littlest, dumbest little thing. That I think what I appreciate about Mistress is that she owns her villainry. She's not afraid of it. She uses it as a tool in her game, and her drag's on point. You know, Ginger Minge, Eureka are both big girls from the past who do good drag also. Mistress has all the components of a winner as well, and her drag is amazing. These are big girls who know how to fit big girl bodies with drag. And whether she's a villain that owns it or not, I don't think will make a difference. I think if RuPaul wants to pick Mistress as a winner, she will.
Agree. Let's get through our one last look, and then I want to spill some hot tea that I just got right before this. So we have Nicole Paige Brooks in this look as a cactus, and then she made. There are two things wrong with this look. Number one, her reveal. Someone needs to tell her that's just called getting undressed. Like, there are ways to do a reveal on this show. This isn't it. That wasn't it. She just unzipped and took it off, and I was like, oh. She's like a reveal. I was like, that's just called being undressed. Like, that's undressing yourself. That's not. You know what? I got revealed last night after I came home from work. I said, I'm gonna reveal, and I just took my shirt off and I put on another one. And the second problem with this is she said she had the audacity to say, let me reveal to an outfit that's worse. And you're like, why? For what?
Yeah. I mean, you know, again, she doesn't suck, but she just sucks by comparison, right?
Agreed.
So it's just, you know, and they plan for this. They know these older girls are just happy to come back for the time. I've already forgotten about Phoenix from the last little round, right? You know, so she's here to get her bookings. She's here to demonstrate she still's got something, right? She just doesn't have what it's going to take to win the top 3 of this bracket.
She said, let me take this off and go from cactus to sparkly sperm. And we were all like, please put it back on. Put the cactus back on, please.
Oh, man,
you're killing me. Okay, so we go into our lip sync. Which, number one, let's talk Chappell Roan for just like a second. I thought she was great. I think this is what happens when you get celebrities to be a guest host on the show, or a guest judge on the show, that actually are fans of the show. Like, you can tell she has watched episodes. She knows these girls. Like, I would always want to judge. I assume that one day I'll be asked on as a guest judge. I would always want to judge an all-star season instead of like a regular one, because I want to be like, I know you. Like, it's like, I know these girls. And I feel like you can tell sometimes when they get thrown into the workroom how their agent or PR person said, this would be a good idea to go say hi or something. But the sheer fact that I feel like when she was there, she was present, she was pleasant, she knew, like, she genuinely enjoyed being there.
Yeah, so did Lady Gaga, just better.
I mean, also that, yes. Here's
the thing. I am a little snarky about Chappell Roan because am not. I mean, hey, she showed up and did the gig great on this. You know, flawless guest judging, and it seemed very sincere. I do think that she can be a little ill-toned in some of her other traversing of media and talking and whatever. I like that she's kind of young and brash and queer and keeps the media on her toes. I enjoy a pushback to that. I like that it's not just like, I'm going to play like nice, pretty girl in the pop world and I'm going to conform to what you are used to. I like that about her. But there's something about her that bothers me. I have yet to put my finger on it. I don't know enough about her background or her conservative family, or like, you know, how queer is she, or, you know, like appropriating drag queen culture. I don't know enough about all that to really, you know, double down on anything. But I don't love her. I love her music. Her album's great. She's got like 8 powerhouse, amazing radio friendly
hits. Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what she does next, because I've already forgotten her dumbass country song that came out like a couple months ago that no one caught on to. We don't need a country moment from Chappell Roan. If you're being a pop queer icon, we don't need your white Beyonce business turning of a corner on country. I just want that out in the world too. I hated that song. I thought it was placating an audience that isn't even hers. I thought it was stupid. So I'm ready to see what's next from Chappell Roan, because all the fans forgot about that country song real quick, didn't we?
Okay, here's my view on that. And don't get me wrong, I did not enjoy the song, but I thought that song was for the the Sam Stars, the Angerias, the Heidi in Closets. Like those like Southern girls where I'm like, it's like a weird part of the Drag Race
Sure.
fandom where like everything around them is super conservative, but they're still want to be in the scene but stay true to their roots. Like, I think the song was for them personally. I know it wasn't for me, but what I'll say is I think it was for them. I understand the audience, even if I'm not that audience. So we go into our lip sync. We ended up doing Hot to Go, which honestly, I thought by the outfits, we were going to do Pink Pony Club, if you want my like honest answer, because I saw the outfits head to toe and I was like, okay, this makes sense. And then they were like, Hot to Go. And I was like, was not expecting that. Do you think it was judged correctly? I have views on this, but I want to hear yours first.
Yeah, no, I think they split the win because they did the trick, right? They did the star trick against Nicole Page Brooks and Carrie Colby. And so in order to not give one of the now villains, right? Because Georges is just as much as a villain in this as Mistress. Let's remember that.
Yes.
They didn't want to give either of them an edge. And so they split the half point, which is fine. Production-wise, fine. That means just fight it out amongst yourselves on the next round is what that means.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I'm okay with that production-wise because I really don't think Georges, one of them won over another. Again, and maybe this is because where I show my blind spots, because maybe I am being a little overcritical from the short, petite, beautiful, female-presenting drag queen versus my girl, Big Bertha villainess.
We love that.
And because I do think Isabel won that. I don't think Georges won that. But like Georges was good, but I don't think she won it. But it was close enough that the production wanted to go, hey, you know what? Because of the drama earlier, let's just have them split a point and we'll duke it out in the next round.
All right. So we end up splitting those points. So currently, Georges and Mistress are ahead. This is a weird time in Drag Race fandom where I feel like almost everyone is rooting for the villains, which is weird because that like never happens. Because even in Mistress's original season, it was pretty split. Everyone was either obsessed with her or couldn't take her a second. They were like, she's so mean, she's this, she's that. But I feel like this is the one time to kind of root for the villains, which like I think Descendants was cool for a reason. I think that maybe that might be where we're going as a society. Next week we move in to we're doing a Rusical. People that have done well in the Rusical every time. Georges, Mistress, killed hers. Have we seen Lydia in one? I don't think so. I'm not sure, but I think that like the girls that have been performing well are going to perform. Carrie was actually pretty good in hers. She just happened to not be featured as much. So I think it will all come down to the role and how they choose to go about it. But I think that Georges and Mistress moving on is inevitable. I don't know any spoilers. I didn't look any up, but what I'm saying is based on what they do well, this challenge is kind of is meant for them, if you will.
And they're both worthy of being in the next bracket. They are. Even my criticalness of Georges aside, she is great. And so I think it'll be a contest between who will fill that third slot, Tina or Lydia, depending on how things shake out.
So Hot Tea just found it right before this. I mean, like a couple hours ago. All Stars 11. We did talk about it a little. And Tina Burner did amazing on Rusical. Yes, truth. But will she be acknowledged for it? No, because they refuse to let the musical theater girls win the musical. They can't do it. I don't know why, because they're so good every time, but they refuse to allow it to happen. All right, All Stars 11, you heard it here first. I don't know if any of it is true. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to start and end with the word allegedly. Allegedly, All Stars 11 girls that we are getting, Cornbread, Lux Noir London, Dawn, Mirage, Latrice Royale again, Silky Nutmeg Ganache again, Morgan McMichaels, Amethyst, Utica, Dusty Ray Bottoms, Jasmine Kennedy, Trinity K. Bonet. We're getting some big names because I think that changing the format where now they only go away for like a week has made more girls sign on to it. And so now we're getting these bigger names again because they know that they just have to do, yes, Hershey liqueur, yes, her. Yep, her too. Hornbread is apparently finally making her drag race return. Now that she's hitting that Ozempic life, she looks beautiful. She's never looked tinier. But so I think now we're starting to, in doing the brackets, we're getting those bigger names again. Wait, I have to end it at this. Allegedly, no one knows. But the first bracket, they leave next week. So we will see, as far as the social media activity and stuff like that, kind of how that goes. And we will keep you posted here as we continue to work our way through. All right. In the meantime, Jeff, where can everyone find you on social media?
I'm an Instagram guy. I'm at Jeff Marks the Spot.
Wonderful. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Use them all. My live journal from 8th grade. Use it. All of it. I want it. I am at Phillip Solomon _. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Continue each and every day to appreciate who you were, celebrate who you are, and motivate who you're going to be. Have an amazing day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.